Live with studios in Midland and Odessa, you're watching CBS7 First Alert News at 9 on the CW West Texas.
There's only one set of rules floating around the facility. There's one set of way of doing things, and so that makes it much more procedural.
Midland Animal Services made several announcements at a meeting this afternoon regarding their policies and procedures. We'll have the full story coming up in just a few minutes. Good evening and thanks for joining us here for CBS 7 News at 9 on the CW. And thanks to those of you who are joining us live on our CBS 7 YouTube page. I'm Jay Hendricks. Beginning Wednesday, January 10th and Saturday, January 13th, 38 individuals were arrested for solicitation of prostitution. It's one of many joint law enforcement operations that have been carried out in West Texas over the last several months. Over a 4-day joint sting operation, the Midland County Sheriff's Office, along with the Odessa Police Department, Midland Police, DPS, and other state law enforcement agencies arrested 38 individuals who were soliciting prostitution. 12 were arrested by the Midland County Sheriff's Office, 1 by Midland Police, and 25 others arrested by Texas DPS. 38 arrests in an operation like this is higher than the average arrest in similar cases.
But rest assured that we have stuff going on all the time. We have these operations at least once a month, either during the Johns or getting those that are human trafficking themselves. So we're out there fighting a good fight. It's great to know that we have a good relationship with all the agencies in this part of Texas.
If caught soliciting prostitution, it is a minimum of 180 days in jail and a $10,000 fine. Tomorrow night at 7 p.m., Odessa Police will be addressing child trafficking prevention at their monthly Neighborhood Watch meeting. Guest speakers from Harmony Home will talk about how to spot the warning signs that attendees can learn what role to play in preventing and responding to human trafficking. One issue specifically is online child and teen trafficking.
It's just important, especially if you have teenagers or if you have those, I don't know how to refer them to them as, tweens, whatever, that age where they're spending a lot of time online. It's just really not a bad idea to not only bring yourself, but bring your kids as well.
If you can't attend but would like more information, a great resource is the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children's website. That's missingkids.org. Again, that meeting is happening inside the Odessa Police Department tomorrow night at 7 p.m. 32-year-old Sonia Murillo, a former substitute teacher for Marfa ISD, pleaded guilty to production of child pornography. That's according to the Department of Justice. They say during an investigation of Murillo's former boyfriend having child sexual abuse material and videos of Murillo sexually abusing a minor were found. Now, that sentencing date has not yet been set. However, she faces up to 30 years in prison and a $250,000 fine. Her boyfriend, former Marfa youth softball coach Patricio Serrano, pled guilty in October to the transportation, aiding and abetting and possession of child pornography. He will be sentenced at the end of February. All new at 9 o'clock. It's been 1 month since Ector County staff requested the Attorney General's opinion regarding oversight of the Ector County Utility District, or ECUD. In response, the AG requested legal briefs from 13 agencies due by January the 17th, but only ECUD submitted a brief. The briefs were a voluntary chance for agencies like the Department of Public Safety and the Commission on Environmental Equality to weigh in before the AG responds. In their letter, ECUD attorneys refuted all of Ector County's claims. Attorneys wrote that the county did not ask questions of the law that could be answered without determining facts first. An Attorney General opinion will not investigate any claims that ECUD has violated various Texas local government and water codes. Instead, it would provide instruction on enforcement if allegations of code violations are true. The final Attorney General opinion is set to be issued by June 12th. The Midland Development Corporation voted 6-1 in favor of an agreement that will develop a 4-star hotel in downtown Midland. Investors have already put up over $100 million, and the MDC has plans to fund part of that project. Just like the Hotel Santa Rita has phases, so will payments from the MDC. There will be 5 payments in the MDC's incentives, which will range from $5 million to $15 million payments. However, one Midlander had concerns over the amount of money the MDC will contribute and if there were other requests for proposals that would benefit the city and taxpayers.
But I think the public really needs to know what one hotel was offering versus another one, and is it really worth the extra $45 million plus tax abatements that the city is going to give for one hotel over another.
The MDC has an annual budget of $15 million, and one of the questions that came up was how they plan to pay the $45 million that was agreed upon.
The MDC has a budget that's raised by a quarter-cent sales tax on an annual basis, so it's not any additional tax money. This is existing money that the MDC has or will have.
Now that the MDC has approved this agreement, all that's needed is the approval of the City Council tomorrow. CBS7's Nori Ortega will be at that meeting and will have an update coming up tomorrow night. Across West Texas, Andrews County has appointed a county judge in the wake of Judge Charlie Falcon's death at the end of last year. County commissioners appointed Sam Jones. Jones was the Andrews County sheriff for 16 years before he retired to be a deputy again. Jones will be sworn in this Wednesday at 2:30. Time now to talk your weather forecast. We saw some very cold weather over the weekend. Today, sunshine, but off and on, and there were some showers early on. Meteorologist Justin Lopez joins us. Justin, what can we see? Kind of a roller coaster all week?
Well, Jay, we're actually going to see our temperatures start to stable out a little bit closer to where we should be for this time of year. And in a stark contrast to last week's cold temperatures, today we got into the 50s and 60s across the area. We got up to 60 degrees out near Andrews, 61 in Odessa. We even got to 70 degrees out near the Presidio area. There's a little problem around near Pecos with that high of 39. It actually got a lot warmer than that today. But right now, our temperatures are in the 40s, 46 in Midland, 46 in Big Spring, Odessa at 49. Meanwhile, Presidio, you're still in the 60s at 61 degrees. We are starting to see our next storm system make its way into our area. So we're going to see those rain chances start to increase. And you can already see we're getting a little bit of shower activity increasing along the Texas-U.S. border or Texas-Mexico border, But for tomorrow, we're going to see scattered showers throughout the day. And then after that, we'll see those temperatures remain in the upper 50s and low 60s for the next couple of days.
In continuing coverage, the Supreme Court is allowing Border Patrol agents to remove razor wire along a portion of the U.S. southern border with Mexico. In a 5-4 vote, the High Court handed the Biden administration a victory in its ongoing legal fight against Governor Greg Abbott of Texas. The ruling applies to the section of the Rio Grande where state officials had blocked access to border agents. 3 migrants recently drowned in that area, which prompted the White House to press the Supreme Court to intervene. In addition to the razor wire, Texas also has placed buoys in the river near Eagle Pass in an effort to stop migrants from crossing. That floating barrier is also the subject of a legal battle between the state and the Biden administration. Back here at home, Midland Animal Services has found a veterinarian after a months-long search. That's just one announcement made at the Midland Animal Services Advisory Board meeting, which was held this afternoon. The board has several updates, including a new part-time vet, discussions about modernizing old ordinances, and finalizing standard operating procedures. Though city staffers did announce the vet's name, they said the vet would ideally become a full-time staffer. In an in-house vet means that the shelter can fix all of its adopted animals. City staff says it would also help save lives.
It also provides us an opportunity to have animals that maybe come in sick looked at and taken care of, which we don't currently have that opportunity. They would otherwise be euthanized.
Some discussions focused on how euthanization rates were calculated and if that method is transparent. However, most of the conversation had its eye on the future, like creating a clear manual for animal services to implement and rewriting outdated ordinances for City Council to approve. Only on CBS7, a West Texas food bank and 10 high school seniors at Trinity School in Midland are excited to launch the brand new Junior Board. The goal is to get students excited about volunteering, but they also want to make a difference and raise money to help those in need. The board started with only Trinity students because of a program that the school runs each year.
With Trinity, we have a program where each grade pairs their nonprofit organization and does a lot of things throughout the year to help that organization. It's truly just a very beautiful thing to be able, from a young age, to directly go and help. So it is a great mission that Trinity is doing.
Next year, they plan to continue the junior board and open it up to more schools. More seniors at other schools.
And then we're hoping to see this expand to our other high schools, not just in Midland, Odessa, but hopefully outside into places like Andrews, McCamey, Crane, because it really is great for our kids to get involved in doing something like a junior board.
The junior board's first fundraiser is Valentine's Day Dance that'll be coming up on Saturday, February 10th at the Horseshoe Arena. For more information on that, you can visit our website at CBS7.com. The Nonprofit Management Center in Odessa is gearing up for its NMC Celebrity Chef Showdown Battle for the Golden Skillet. The culinary battle will be between 11 local chefs competing to win that golden skillet and raise money for the NMC. Today, the chefs found out what protein they will use as their main ingredient. It's all to help to show off the chefs for the competition.
We're really excited to have come up with a new idea for our community. It's never been done before. So it's a little bit new for us all, but it's fun to come up with something different.
The Chef Showdown will happen on Leap Day, that's February 29th, in Building B of the Ector County Coliseum. Our Matthew Alvarez and Hannah Burbank will be there to host the event. In addition to trying and voting on the best dish, people can also participate in an auction. Ahead of Tuesday's New Hampshire primary, the race for the Republican nomination is down to two candidates. Former President Donald Trump and his one-time ambassador to the United Nations, Nikki Haley. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis quit the race over the weekend. CBS News correspondent Skylar Henry is in Manchester, New Hampshire with the latest.
Tuesday's New Hampshire primary could be a turning point for Nikki Haley in her battle against former President Donald Trump, or the end of the road.
Chaos follows him, and we can't be a country in disarray and have a world on fire and go through 4 more years of chaos because we won't survive it.
The former South Carolina governor crisscrossed New Hampshire on the eve of the first-in-the-nation primary, hoping to gain ground against Trump. He is counting on a strong showing after easily winning the Iowa caucuses last week.
Tomorrow is the day that each and every one of you is going to cast the most important vote of your entire life.
What he accomplished when he was president the first time, he did more than any of the presidents.
Dante Scala, a political science professor at the University of New Hampshire, says a strong turnout Tuesday by independent voters could make the difference for Haley.
That's what Nikki Haley needs, like a turnout for the ages that would basically make the whole voter pool more moderate.
Ambassador, how you feeling?
Feeling good, feeling good.
Haley is holding out hope voters will see her as an alternative to Trump.
She can unite a lot of people, a lot of independents, a lot of Democrats. I don't think he can. That's why I think she would be a better choice.
The New Hampshire Secretary of State is projecting record turnout in the Republican primary. Skylar Henry, CBS News, Manchester, New Hampshire.
Now for a look at today's top headlines shown here in real time with real viewers on CBS7.com. See all of these stories and more by downloading our app or visiting our website, CBS7.com. Still ahead, how abortion is playing a big part of rallying voters this election year. The story is coming up. Monday marked a milestone in Supreme Court decisions 51 years since the Roe v. Wade decision, which granted Americans the federal constitutional right to an abortion. But in 2022, the court overturned the law, ruling abortion rights should be determined by the states. Now in this presidential election year, Emily Schmidt reports on how abortion is now part of rallying the voters.
This year's March for Life event ended at the U.S. Capitol instead of the Supreme Court. One of the organizers said to show the post-Roe battle lives with lawmakers.
I am myself a product of an unplanned pregnancy. In January of 1972, exactly 1 year before Roe v. Wade, my parents, who were just teenagers at the time, chose life.
Folks, this is what it looks like when the right to privacy is under attack.
President Joe Biden spoke at the White House on the Roe anniversary as his vice president rallied voters in Wisconsin.
You see, what the United States Supreme Court took, Congress can put back in place.
And as Biden's campaign rolled out its first abortion-focused ad of the year, featuring an OB/GYN mother who traveled from Texas after learning her fetus had a fatal condition.
In Texas, you are forced to carry that pregnancy, and that is because of Donald Trump overturning Roe v. Wade.
For 54 years, they were trying to get Roe v. Wade terminated, and I did it, and I'm proud to have done it.
This election year, Donald Trump, who appointed 3 conservative Supreme Court justices while president, is running for the Republican nomination against former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley. Their next face-off is in New Hampshire, where likely Republican voters listed abortion low on their list of key issues, according to a poll conducted by the University of New Hampshire. A November national poll found Americans aligned more with Democrats than Republicans on abortion. The question, will that alignment translate to votes? I'm Emily Schmidt reporting.
Well, you may want to keep an umbrella handy tomorrow because we're going to be increasing our rain chances as our next disturbance makes its way into our area. We'll talk about that and more coming up next.
Now, from the CBS7 First Alert Weather Center, here's meteorologist Justin Lopez.
Good evening, everybody. In contrast to last week's Arctic air, today we started off our temperatures relatively nicely. We're going to see those temperatures remain more or less close to where they should be for this time of year over the next couple of days. But right now, we're sitting at 49 here in Odessa as we're looking out over the city, 46 in Midland, 46 also out there in Big Spring. There's a lot of warm spots out there near Presidio with a temperature of 60 degrees. Those winds are coming out of the southeast, so we're going to start getting a little bit more inflow of moisture into our area as we go throughout the night. So we'll start to see even patches of fog develop, but what we're really going to want to pay attention to is that disturbance that's coming toward us. It's going to be bringing us some rain as well. We can already see a couple of rain showers starting to develop right there just along the Rio Grande and starting to make their way in from Mexico toward our region. We're going to see more of that activity as we go throughout the night, as we can see our storm system actually right here. And that's going to be making its way right toward us. We can see it even in the jet stream, that little bump or dip in the jet stream, I should say. And then you see a lot of flow of moisture, even in the upper levels, coming at us from the Pacific Ocean. So looking at our West Texas Futurecast, we're going to see those rain showers start to really ramp up by around the early morning hours. So Midland, Odessa, we can start seeing rain showers as early as around 4 or 5 in the morning. And then they're really going to be just scatter plotted all throughout the day. So pretty much all of us are at some point in the day tomorrow going to get a chance of seeing some rain shower activity. Then it'll kind of lull by the mid part of the day. Then we'll ramp up again with those furthermore rain chances as we go into the evening hours tomorrow. Now looking at the rainfall totals, we're not really going to be seeing a lot tomorrow. It's not like we're expecting a great flood or anything like that. But we're going to see about 1/10 of an inch or less for the majority of us. A little bit more as we head out toward the east and into the higher elevations, maybe even about 1/4 of an inch there. But for the rest of this evening, as we go through the night, we're going to get additional cloud coverage to increase. And those winds will start to shift from the south at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tomorrow we'll see those highs in the 50s and 60s, 58 in Odessa, 57 in Midland. We'll get up to 64 degrees out there near Pecos. And then Presidio will be at 72 degrees with chances of rain all across the area. We got a 50-50 shot out here in the Midland, Odessa area, but then after that, we'll see temperatures start to get a little closer to where they need to be for this time of year. And we'll see those rain chances kind of pepper in there throughout the week.
Keeping up with Alzheimer's research, a new study published by the journal JAMA Neurology just today suggests that a simple blood test could screen for Alzheimer's disease even before a patient has any symptoms at all. The test screens for one of several proteins that build up in people with Alzheimer's, Right now, that type of testing involves brain scans or spinal taps, which can be expensive and hard to study. But the study found the new blood test, which is much simpler, was just as accurate. The test is currently available for research use only, but one of the study's authors says it should be available for clinical use soon. The company that developed the test estimates that it could cost between $200 and $500.
All right, everybody, make sure you're grabbing umbrellas tomorrow because we are going to need them, or at least keep them handy. We're going to see some scattered showers all throughout the day, and those temperatures are going to be just a teeny tiny smidge cooler than they were today. So we're going to see highs in the 50s, 58 in Odessa, 57 in Midland. We'll see up to 64 out there in Fort Stockton, 72 in Presidio. Those winds are going to be out of the southwest, but overall, we need some rain out here, Jay.
Right.
So luckily, though, we have those rain chances lasting for at least Tuesday and Wednesday, and then another shot of rain showers on Friday. But overall, I'm just glad to see our temperatures better. I mean, we're not dealing with that Arctic air.
Not as cold as what we saw. You're right. Justin, thank you. And thanks for watching here for CBS 7 First Alert News at 9 on the CW. More tonight at 10.